So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in. So today what we're going to talk about is answering the question, why do 30 to 40% of marriages end in divorce because of this one thing? That one thing is money. Of all things, right? Money is the cause for about 30 to 40% of marriages ending. There's different surveys, there's different studies, but generally that's the consensus, is that between 30 and 40% of marriages end in divorce because of money issues or money problems. So we're going to go ahead and address that, some of the things that we do to hopefully mitigate that when we do get married, and some of the talks that we have as well going forward. So again, my name is Robert. If you gain any value from this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am getting spider webs in my face. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I answer the question right away. What causes 30 to 40% of divorces? It's pretty well known if you keep up with this channel, or if you are somebody that's probably watching this channel. It's probably something you're already aware of. But there are a lot of people that aren't aware that marriages end a lot of times, a lot often, in divorce because of money issues or money problems. So again, some of it is a shortfall of money, some of it is sometimes too much money, but having a good understanding on both sides of how the money will be handled and each other's goals is really going to simplify and hopefully eliminate any kind of money problems or money issues that may come up in the marriage. Because if you think about it, if you can solve the money problem before you guys get married, either have enough money for both of y'all's goals or both of y'all's lifestyles before you go into the marriage, and you have an understanding of how the money is going to be spent before getting married, you eliminated almost 50% of the problem right off the bat. So you are already at an advantage of allowing your marriage to last a lifetime. So marriage can be a hack as long as you choose the right person, which is getting harder and harder to do today, it looks like, right? With all the influences that we have in our society today. But if you can find the right person, you can find somebody who aligns with you on those goals, it's gonna make things a lot easier, because I don't know if I would have the same situation if I was to go out and date again today. So that's why I say hopefully you can find yourself a right partner in today's society as well. Again, I know it's harder out there than it used to be, but I'm hopeful that everyone who is watching this video and is looking for a partner, for hopefully you can share those goals in common, you will find that as well. But because nothing's more rewarding than actually finding someone who aligns with your goals and then working together for a common goal. It's just so much more rewarding. You feel like you're on a part of a team. You feel like you are working towards something, and then you have that drive to kind of work together. And in a sense, it kind of brings you together because you have to rely on each other. We oftentimes talk between me and my fiance is when we went to Indonesia, we didn't really speak, we kind of had to rely on each other. We didn't really speak their language, but a lot of them did speak English. It just wasn't very good. But we always had to rely on each other to get around. Either she would figure out something that I wouldn't figure out, or I would figure out something that she wouldn't figure out. And together we would get around the country for a month, just figuring out little things like that. So relying on each other really builds and hones in that relationship. So that's why I say money is a team effort. It's a team sport, especially when it comes to getting married. So some of the talks that we have as far as money goes is we have goals. I know what she wants in life. She knows what I want in life. Now, both of our goals are pretty lofty. I would say for the average person, these are probably inachievable goals. They're probably crazy, but those of you guys who are watching are probably not average if you're watching a finance channel. So it's probably not crazy for you guys. But for us, it involves multiple millions of dollars. It involves a lot of land and things like that. So these are not goals that we will easily get to if we are not persistent, dedicated, and disciplined with our money. So we both understand that. We both make sacrifices. We both know that short term we're sacrificing for the long-term gain, for you know, for the longevity of the marriage, for the longevity of our lives, and as well to help those people closest to us in their lives as well. Again, we have parents that are going to be getting older, so at some point they're going to need help. As well as us, we want a nice lifestyle as well. We want to be able to travel, things like that. So we are upfront about what we want in our lives. We've told each other many times, we talk about it together, we daydream about it together. So we're very much aware of what we expect out of each other. And in this case, we both have a really good, strong work ethic. So that's super great. Now, once you have an understanding of each other's goals, that kind of helps you to kind of work backwards to kind of analyze and to work out what you need to do to get to those goals. You can start working backwards. Okay, say I want to make $1 million. Well, now you got to make, you know, now you need to do the math. What do I need to do to get to those $1 million? So now you can start working backwards. You know each other's goals, you know each other's plans. We've even talked about, you know, if we have an excess of money, what are we going to do with it? We already know we're going to donate some. We already know we're going to help family. So we already know all these things. We've talked about it. We've talked about all these scenarios. You know, what if we lost everything? We've talked about those scenarios as well. You know, those are all tough conversations that you have to have, and you have to be able to really rely on your partner, that they're going to go through with these things, right? So it involves a lot of trust. Again, it's not 100%, right? Anything can change, anything can happen. So it does involve a lot of trust. It does involve a lot of faith into a person. Again, it's never 100% guaranteed, but that's part of life. You kind of have to rely on other people at some point in your life as well. So might as well be your best friend and your partner. But those are some of the conversations that I will personally have. Again, not financial advice, not marriage advice, but, you know, what are we going to do if we have an excess of money? What are we going to do once we have our goals? What are we going to do if we are short our goals? What are we going to do if we lose everything? Those are all conversations that we have. Hopefully we always have the positive outcome, but in life, as we know, as we get older, that not everything works out the way we plan. So those are all tough conversations. We also have conversations as far as even to the vehicles we want to drive. What kind of vehicle do you expect? What kind of vehicle do I expect? What kind of lifestyle do you expect? What kind of lifestyle do I expect? Things like that. We have those conversations. Now, coming from a Hispanic culture or background, it's not very common to talk about money. It's not very, I don't know, it's not praised to be talking about money between, you know, even between us or even between family. It's not something that is really done in our culture. We don't talk about money. You kind of keep that thing secret. You don't tell nobody you have $1 in your account. You just keep it secret, right? You don't tell them you have $100 in your account. You keep it secret. That's usually how it works in our culture. But at the same time, it kind of hinders us because you don't know what the other person is doing. If you know, I might have a cousin who has maybe $1 million in the bank. Well, I want to know, how did you get the $1 million? You know, share some information. But if we're in a culture where, you know, it's kind of taboo to be talking about our money, we're never going to learn from each other. We're never going to grow. We're never going to know, you know, how did my cousin get $1 million in the bank? You know, I want to know too. You don't have to give me any money, but, you know, share some information so that way I can go out and do the same thing. So opening up, talking a little bit about money. Again, you don't have to tell everybody you have, you know, $1 million and 10 cents in your bank account, but just share information that you may or may not have, and it helps to go a long way as well. Now, again, just talking about each other's expectations in the marriage or in the relationship up front before even getting married. You know, what kind of lifestyle do you expect? Do you expect to be doing your nails every freaking week? Do you expect to be getting your hair done? Things like that. I mean, it sounds funny, but all that stuff does add up at the end of the year. You know, and all those little things start to make you unhappy if you cannot afford them. So if you can plan for them ahead of time, and again, these are little things, right? Your hair, your nails, whatever, for a woman, right? All these little things add up throughout the year. They add up to thousands of dollars. But if you have these conversations before you get married, it hopefully will help eliminate those arguments in the marriage, because you already know that, you know, she's going to be spending $5,000 a year on maintenance for herself or whatever. Again, that's a conversation you had up front. Hopefully it'll eliminate that problem in the marriage because you already calculated that amount of money that you need to make or invest or whatever you're going to be doing. prior to actually tying the knot, right? So those are just conversations that we have. What does she expect out of me? What do I expect out of her? What kind of financial status does she expect? What does she expect? What do I expect as well? Now again, like I said in the beginning, our goals pretty much align. We expect the same thing. We have high goals, so we're both willing to sacrifice, willing to pay the price right now for our long-term vision, our long-term goals. But again, hopefully this will eliminate, you know, a good chunk of problems that most marriages have. So if anything, we can focus on other problems because we won't have this one, hopefully. Fingers crossed, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed in life, but it's always good to put yourself in the best position possible. In this case, you can eliminate one of the biggest problems in marriage, which is money. So without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.